The Sun. The Sun is a yellow dwarf star, a hot ball of glowing gases. Mercury. Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun, at a distance of about 58 million kilometers. Mercury is the smallest planet in our solar system, with a diameter of 3,031 miles. It is slightly larger than the Earth's moon. Mercury has no moons. No evidence for life has been found on Mercury. Mercury is appropriately named for the swiftest of the ancient Roman gods, Mercury, the god of commerce. Mercury is a rocky planet, also known as a terrestrial planet. Mercury has a solid, cratered surface, much like the Earth's moon. Mercury has long days and short years. One day on Mercury takes 59 Earth days. Mercury makes a complete orbit around the Sun, which is a year in Mercury time, in just 88 Earth days. Venus. Venus is the second closest planet to the Sun, at a distance of about 67 million miles. It is only a little smaller than Earth, with a diameter of 7,521 miles. One day on Venus lasts as long as 243 Earth days. Venus rotates in the direction opposite of its orbital revolution around the Sun. Venus makes a complete orbit around the Sun, in Venus time, in 225 Earth days. Venus spins backwards, referred to as retrograde rotation, when compared to the other planets. This means that the Sun rises in the west and sets in the east on Venus. Venus is a rocky planet, also known as a terrestrial planet. Venus' solid surface is a cratered and volcanic landscape. It has no moons. No evidence for life has been found on Venus. Venus is named for the ancient Roman goddess of love and beauty, the counterpart to the Greek goddess Aphrodite. Earth, our home planet. Earth is the third planet from the Sun, at a distance of about 93 million miles. Earth has a diameter of 7,927 miles. If the Sun were as tall as a typical front door, Earth would be the size of a nickel. A day on Earth is 24 hours. This is the time it takes the Earth to rotate or spin once. Earth makes a complete orbit around the Sun, which is a year in Earth time, in about 365 days. Earth is a rocky planet, also known as a terrestrial planet, with a solid and dynamic surface of mountains, valleys, canyons, plains, and much more. Earth is different from other terrestrial planets in our solar system because it has oceans. Most of our planet is covered in water. Earth's atmosphere is 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and 1% other ingredients. The perfect balance for Earthlings to breathe and live. Many planets in our solar system have atmospheres, but only Earth's is breathable. Earth has one moon. Another name for a moon is natural satellite. If the Sun were as tall as a typical front door, Earth would be the size of a nickel, and Mars would be about as big as an aspirin tablet. Mars has a diameter of 4,221 miles. Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun at a distance of about 142 million miles. One day on Mars takes just a little over 24 hours. This is the time it takes for Mars to rotate or spin once. Mars makes a complete orbit around the Sun, a year in Martian time, in 687 Earth days. Like Earth, Mars experiences seasons due to the tilt of its rotational axis. Mars is a rocky planet, also known as a terrestrial planet. Mars' solid surface has been altered by volcanoes, impacts, crustal movement, and atmospheric effects such as dust storms. Mars is known as the red planet because iron minerals in the Martian soil oxidize or rust, causing the soil and the dusty atmosphere to look red. Mars has 2 moons. At this time in the planet's history, Mars' surface cannot support life as we know it. Mars was named by the Romans for their god of war because of its red blood-like color. Jupiter is the 5th planet from the Sun at a distance of about 484 million miles. Jupiter is the biggest planet with a diameter of 88,850 miles. It is 11 times wider than Earth. If Earth were the size of a nickel, Jupiter would be about as big as a basketball. Jupiter has the shortest day in the solar system. One day on Jupiter takes about 10 hours. Jupiter makes a complete orbit around the Sun in about 12 Earth years. Jupiter spins nearly upright and does not have seasons as extreme as other planets do. Jupiter is a gas giant planet and therefore does not have a solid surface. Jupiter may have a solid inner core about the size of Earth. Jupiter's atmosphere is made up mostly of hydrogen and helium. Did you know Jupiter's great red spot is a gigantic storm about the size of Earth that has been raging for hundreds of years? Jupiter has 53 known moons, with an additional 16 moons awaiting confirmation of their discovery. It has a faint ring system and cannot support life as we know it. Saturn. Saturn is the 6th planet from the Sun at a distance of about 886 million miles. Saturn has a diameter of 74,901 miles. If the Sun were as tall as a typical front door, the Earth would be the size of a nickel and Saturn would be about as big as a basketball. Saturn rotates in the same direction as the Earth, which is west to east, but it does this far faster than Earth, spinning around once in just 10.7 hours. While the days on Saturn are short, the years are long. It takes Saturn 29 Earth years to complete one revolution around the Sun. Like Earth, Saturn experiences seasons. Saturn is a gas giant planet and therefore does not have a solid surface. Saturn's atmosphere is made up mostly of hydrogen and helium. It has the most spectacular ring system, which is made up of 7 rings with several gaps and divisions between them. Saturn has 53 known moons. It cannot support life as we know it. However, some of its moons have conditions that might support life. Saturn is named for the Roman god of agriculture and wealth. The Greek equivalent was Cronus, the father of Zeus. Uranus. Uranus is the 7th planet from the Sun at a distance of about 1.8 billion miles. It has the third largest diameter in our solar system at 31,765. If the sun was as tall as a typical front door, Earth would be the size of a nickel and Uranus would be about as big as a baseball. One day on Uranus takes about 17 hours. It makes a complete orbit around the Sun in about 84 Earth years. Like Venus, Uranus has a retrograde rotation, which means it spins east to west. Unlike any of the other planets, Uranus rotates on its side, which means it spins horizontally. Uranus has 13 known rings. It is an ice giant. Most of the planet's mass, 80% or more, is made up of a hot, dense fluid of icy materials above a small rocky core. Uranus has 27 moons. Its moons are named after characters from the works of William Shakespeare and Alexander Pope. It cannot support life as we know it. Neptune. Neptune is the 8th planet from the Sun. It is more than 30 times as far from the Sun as Earth. It is the 4th largest planet in our solar system with a diameter of 30,777 miles. About 60 Earths can fit inside Neptune. One day on Neptune takes 16 hours 7 minutes. However, it takes a long time for these distant planets to travel around the Sun. The planet takes almost 165 Earth years to orbit our Sun. In 2011, Neptune completed its first orbit since its discovery in 1846. Neptune gets its blue color from a layer of methane gas above the clouds. Methane absorbs red light, so only blue colors show up when we look at Neptune. Neptune has 6 rings and 13 known moons. Its largest moon, Triton, gets colder than Pluto. Neptune is dark, cold, and whipped by supersonic winds. It may be the windiest planet in the solar system. Neptune is named for the Roman god of the sea. Thank you for watching.